while most Web3 projects are dying with failed launches and zero community engagement, a project called Monet just pulled off one of the most genius marketing campaigns of this cycle. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how Monet went from zero to having over 230,000 people fighting for their tokens, built a cult-like following, and generated millions of dollars in pre-market value before they even launched. And the craziest part is that they didn't need to spend millions of dollars in paid ads or influencer marketing. Instead, they used 3 psychological strategies that most Web3 founders completely ignore. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand their strategy so that you can go and implement it into your project. The reality of Web3 marketing is that most people don't understand it. They believe that marketing is about posting on Twitter and having some KOs talk about you. And the truth is that they end up launching with zero community, no attention, and wonder why nobody cares about their revolutionary technology. But Monet's founders understood something that changed everything. And what I'm about to walk you through in this video is the exact 3-step framework that Monet basically utilized to become one of the most talked about projects of this cycle. And the third strategy probably made up 70% of the success, and a lot of projects either are using it wrong or are just not using it at all. So just diving straight into it, the $10 billion launch, the Monet case study. Again, there's 3 core pillars to the campaign. And kicking it off with pillar number 1 is a cult-like community building. The truth is that most people have not been around for 3 years like Monet has, but there's definitely like little bits and pieces that Monet and their success story left behind that we can take and run with. Some of the key tactics were the founder funnel strategy. The Monet founders and the intern account became very loud and recognizable bosses on crypto Twitter. Again, the intern account has been around for a very long time. He's pulling hundreds of thousands of impressions, every single tweet, every single big video announcing. The founders of Monet, they've gone to events, they've done podcasts, they've done the whole thing. I think the founder funnel and kind of building that community and the team base has allowed them to scale and build the trust that they've built to this day. The second thing is the memeability factor. Monet as a brand, it's the brand it is, it's very memeable. Every time you see Monet, you think of these meme-like images, these cute animals that you just kind of see around everywhere every time somebody talks about Monet. And this just made it a very friendly brand, something that people can resonate with and just easily get attached to, right? Every single partnership that they've done, you can see the images here, and every single time they get a lot of attention. And it just, again, it helped build a friendly factor and a memeable factor, which allowed them to build that community a lot faster and much easier. And the last thing is that they basically showed up every single day for the last 3 years. Again, the Monet founders, they've been on podcasts, they've done events, they talk on spaces, they connect with the community, they're very active. Again, this is something that you can't replicate overnight, but this is something that you can take with and basically run with for the next couple of months and years as you continue to build the brand. The reality is that most people have not been around for 3 years, and building a community is just the foundation. The real genius behind this whole campaign is how they activated the community, which kind of leads us to pillar number 2. Which is the status-driven psychology, the Monet card campaigns, right? So these campaigns basically took over the timeline for a handful of weeks, and it all started with the first batch. The first batch was basically where they picked about 2,500 crypto Twitter natives, and they handed out the first card. What this did is created an exclusive selection of 2,500 people with the biggest profiles who were big on crypto, but also who are big on the Monet ecosystem, right? So for example, here they picked Whale. He was one of the first people to have the cards, which then allowed Monet to implement a viral referral system where the creator would have to refer 3 nominees, which created a lot of FOMO in people, right? You can see the comments here. Most people didn't actually get the card because when you think about it, only 2,500 people were able to get it, which made it very, very exclusive. The thing is that these cards had a couple different things that apply to them, right? So they have the exclusivity factor, they had the viral factor, but they also were very memeable, right? So they were very funny, they were very easy to look at, they were very interesting, and they created these status symbols, right? That made the cards a flex item and people had to share, right? So for each card, they had a certain description for each person, which then allowed people to feel like it was more personalized and just made it a lot easier for people to share. So the thing is that where it gets really, really interesting is because the cards were just the beginning of it. After the cards happened, they basically created this list, which is called the Airdrop ? What this list did is it created strategic mystery, meaning they added people to the list, which started creating speculation of a potential airdrop because people have been waiting for this Monet token for ages. It created organic conversations because everybody that was added into that list started tweeting, commenting, talking about this list, hoping that they would be added to the list and get an airdrop allocation. And in return, it basically got them mindshare domination, right? It became the topic of spaces, group chats, the timeline. Everybody was talking about this airdrop because every single person on CT wanted to be part of it. And this this was honestly what kind of kickstarted this whole campaign. And this alone probably got the millions of impressions, and they probably spent close to no money on it. And the truth is that this was very, very powerful. We've done this campaign before in the past as well for some other clients, and every single time it's worked, right? When you give people exclusivity, when you give them access to something that not other people have, you basically are able to overtake the timeline no matter your product. Basically, the moment of truth and the moment that actually created the full virality was basically pillar number 3, which is the speculation and user experience. And going back to what I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is a strategy that most people either do wrong or they don't fully understand. And I truly believe that this campaign, or this part alone, basically made up 80% of the success that they had. And it all kind of kicked off with the box opening campaign, right? So the box opening campaign, how it worked is that completely different to other projects. Most projects just give an airdrop. People come into the website, connect their wallet, they see how much they got airdrop. But Monet basically turned their airdrop into a 3-day psychological masterpiece. And what I mean by that is that it was a multi-phase reveal spread across 3 days to maximize engagement. So you had day number 1, day number 2, and day number 3. And then alongside of it, you could actually see your allocation in real-time value, right? So people can come in and they would see day 1, day 2, day 3, how much Mon tokens they have in real-time value. But where it became really, really interesting, going back to the memeable aspect, the friendly aspect of it, is they had a Pokemon style experience, which just made the experience way better. What they did was basically they had these sick animations where you had a box, then it would like basically like this flash would come in and then it would open up. And it was just a sick experience that most people wanted to share on the timeline, right? Because people wanted to flex, people wanted to showcase how much Mon tokens they had, they wanted to share their experience. And it just kind of built this whole speculation that, everybody wanted to, again, be part of. So the speculation flywheel was basically very simple. The higher the speculation, the higher the prices, which then caused more speculation over time. So they created this whole flywheel of people where, hey, I want to see how much Mon token I have because everybody's posting about it. So they went connected their wallets, and they ended up not having as many Mon tokens. Some people did, which then created higher speculation, which had increased the price on pre-market valuations, and then alone created more speculation because people would get more valuation out of their tokens that they did have. Now, to break down the 3-day process, it was very simple. And honestly, it was what made this campaign really, really sticky. So day number 1, they had the biggest allocation, which is basically what hooked these people in. So day number 1, they came in, they were like, oh my God, I got 1 million Mon tokens. Day number 2, they had a smaller allocation, which created tension, which created a reason for people to come back and be like, oh my God, what happened between day 1 and day 2? Which then allowed them to come back for day 3, which is where like the massive rewards and like people made most of their money, which would then basically leave them grateful for the experience that they had just gone through. And the thing is that this campaign absolutely dominated the timeline. And I think if they weren't able to implement the speculation and the user experience as they did, this campaign wouldn't have been as successful. Now, why did this strategy actually fully dominate? I want to walk you a little bit through the psychology behind the success. So they had a couple of things that allowed them to succeed and win as big as they did. They had social proof cascade. When top accounts shared, everybody else wanted to get in. And we see this all the time with every single big campaign. You have the bigger profiles talk about it. Everybody that's a smaller account want to talk about it because now it's part of engagement farming, right? So they had the social proof cascade. Big accounts started talking about it. Everybody else wanted to be part of it. The FOMO amplification. This is where the cards came in. So they had 2,500 cards which were available. Everybody wanted to be part of that card because they knew that it would equal to an airdrop allocation. Where the community building for the past 3 years came in is that they had the community investment. And what I mean by this is that people became emotionally invested in the outcome. The reason being is because they've been interacting with the Monet ecosystem. They've seen the founders. They went through the user experience of getting the card, opening their packs every single day, going through this insane user experience, which allowed them to come back and be even more emotionally invested on the outcome, which then increased the pre-market valuation, which then increased the speculation all throughout. And then the last piece of it was the organic virality. Every participant became a content creator. The reason being is the user experience. Everybody that has a big account was talking about them, and it just became part of engagement farming. If you were talking about Monet on those days, on that week, you would get engagement 100% of the time. That's basically the psychology behind the success. They were able to create a social proof. They were able to create FOMO by allowing only a certain type of people have these cards, which then created FOMO. Then the last thing that they had was the virality aspect of it. Everybody that got the cards, everybody that went through the experience wanted to post about it because it was such a cool experience. Now, the truth is that numbers don't lie. To give you guys some context about this, I didn't work with a team, so I'm not exactly sure on the numbers, but they had over 230,000 people that received tokens. The entire crypto Twitter was talking about them, so you can just imagine how many impressions that was. They had massive pre-market trading volume, which I believe is upwards of like tens of millions of dollars, and they basically executed this campaign perfectly. I haven't seen a campaign like this in a very long time, and every single piece of it was executed amazingly, and the team absolutely crushed it. I think there's a lot of pieces and interesting things that we can take away from this. And the truth is that what you need to understand is that Monet didn't get lucky. They followed basically the framework that's worked in the past. They just made it better and made it the Monet aspect of it, right? So like they took what's working and just made it Monet. The thing is that most founders miss this. They have the strategy, they have the ideas in place, but like where the challenge really comes is like properly executing these strategies and building genuinely community trust and avoiding the mistakes that kill 99% of projects before they even launch. So the reason why I put this video together is because I want to give you guys everything that I've taken away from this campaign, and I've taken away from every single campaign that we've run in the past, and just basically give it out to you guys so that it hopefully helps you one day. Now, if you want access to this mirror board, I'm going to link it down below in this video, so you can basically just come in, read through it, just boil down exactly what worked, what didn't work, and then implement it for your own project. And if you did need some help implementing this to your project or just want some feedback, feel free to jump on a call with my team at Webflow. It'll be a link down below. You can just book a call with myself or somebody from my team, and then we can look at what you guys are doing, what you took away from the strategy, and basically figure out how you guys can implement it and basically have some form of outcome just like Monet did. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.